What's goody, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at again with a brand new video. I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. This game between the Carolina Panthers and the Kansas City Chiefs was a much better game than anybody could have imagined. Now, I already know what all the sports shows are going to talk about. We already know what all the sports media is going to speak on. They're going to say Patrick Mahomes, 4 touchdowns, won a game. The team scored 33 points. The rushing game only had 30 yards total. They're going to say Patrick Mahomes is so great. He did all that. They will not give the Panthers props. They will not even speak on what the Panthers did. They will not ever mention that maybe, perhaps, Teddy Bridgewater outplayed Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. But the truth is, the better team in this game might not have won. It was a score of 31-33, and there was a lot of non-believers out there. A lot of non-believers who did not have faith in this Panthers squad. Would you believe? At one point, the Panthers were up 14-3. Would you believe the Panthers went into halftime with the lead? Would you believe any of that? If I had told you that before the game started, I always believed in my Panthers. Check the tape. I always had faith in my Carolina Panthers to pull it out, even without we can make the argument. Jeremy Chinn has been the best player on the team for the past 6 weeks. Honestly, those first 2 weeks at C-Mac, he did have 4 rushing touchdowns, but his numbers, his production wasn't really up to C-Mac standards, and I understand scheming and all that kind of stuff, but either way you look at it, you might be able to say that Jeremy Chinn has been the most consistently great player on this team for the full season. So when you go into a game against Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs offense, and a pretty damn good defense, you score 31 points with a starting quarterback who most people would call a game manager, a below average signal caller, and you have an O-line that even you can't name every single O-lineman on the team. Do you know why? Because the O-linemen change every single week. There's guys getting hurt. There's guys getting COVID. We've even had games where guys who started the week before are healthy scratches because they're just not that great. We have guys like Chris Reed getting heavy snap counts, a guy who actually helped out the team by being so bad at blocking, he got pushed back in Teddy Bridgewater, and it allowed the rusher to get a late hit on Teddy, and it actually let us continue our drive. That's how bad Chris Reed is. It takes a whole lot of talent to be so bad that it circles back around and ends up being good and beneficial to your team. Chris Reed found a way. There's not too many players in the league who can be so horrible that it ends up working out in their team's favor. But let's move past that and actually break down this game. What did this game really come down to? Look, it was a very windy day. Both kickers missed field goals. We saw a double doink, a very rare double doink in this game. But the wind wasn't really the issue because we saw both these quarterbacks absolutely slinging that rock on the field, up and down the field. Can I start with the Panthers? I knew our offense was good, okay? We've been moving the ball between the 20s all season long. This offense does not really get stalled out consistently. We may have a 3 and out here and there, but we are very good at long sustained drives. The very first drive of the game, 15 plays, 9 minutes, 75 yards, either 4 or 5 first downs in the first drive alone. We get a touchdown. Another thing that we did that was pretty big in that first drive was burn 2 timeouts. And that was one of the bigger things in this game. We had just poor time management. It's been a problem for years now. It's been a problem only here and there this season, but our time management has been dog meat. We wasted so many timeouts for no reason. I thought the play concepts were a little bit weird. Joe Brady is a genius when it comes to scheming and drawing up plays. But there's at least 10 plays every single game, and they're all pass plays, that I look at and I say, why is this the route combination? Why do we have 2 streaks, no routes over the middle? We have Teddy rolling out and there's literally nothing open. Literally nothing open. And we see Ian Thomas going on fades. Ian Thomas is a tight end who is not a deep route technician. He is not built for that kind of route. You're just throwing him out there as a decoy, and then you still throw it to him on a fade route when you know there is no hope for him on that route. I like Ian Thomas, and I think he should get more playing time, or at least more targets. But that's not the way to do it. And then we see other things like, look, the reemergence of Christian McCaffrey. I kind of buried this a little bit later than I should have, but C-Mac came back, and the biggest question was, how would Joe Brady, and even Matt Rule to a certain extent, how are they going to scheme him back into the game? How are they going to split between C-Mac and Mike Davis? We saw Mike Davis was a starter caliber running back in the league. I had my doubts. At first, I was proven wrong very quickly and very often. C-Mac was on the field for 70% of all plays. Mike Davis was only on the field for 30%, and that even includes plays when they were both on the field at the same time. But the big thing is C-Mac got 18 carries for 69 yards, 3.8 per. That's about what you want out of, any starting running back. Around 3.6, 3.8 is about, what a starting running back in the NFL should be getting. He also got 10 targets and 10 receptions. Mike Davis got 1 total rush attempt. 6 targets, 5 receptions for 34 yards. He was effectively schemed out of the game. That's not the reason why the Panthers lost, but it was not very surprising. The Panthers made it very clear C-Mac is our guy, and there is not really a big shot at us really going to other running backs. Now, we did see Curtis Samuel get in the game a little bit. He had 3 carries for 13 yards. But for the most part, we understand if you pay C-Mac all this money, you better believe he is going to get the bulk of the carries. And not just the bulk. He's going to be the feature back. It's not going to be any 1A, 1B. It's not going to be any sort of, okay, well, let's split snaps here and there. Maybe you get more rush attempts. You get more receptions. That's not how it works. That is not how it's going to go down. The Panthers want to feature C-Mac, and everything else in the run game is an afterthought. And we see something very similar happening in the receiving game as well. We notice, look, we all understand what happens in these games. Teddy Bridgewater gets his eyes locked onto Robbie Anderson. Now, this game, Robbie did not have the most yards. Actually, Robbie had the 3rd most receiving yards, mostly because C-Mac is finally back. C-Mac had 10 receptions, like I said, 82 total yards. But Curtis, 9 receptions, 105 yards for a touchdown. And you definitely love to see that because we understand that early on in this season, we were scheming Curtis out of the game plan. He was not getting a lot of love. All right. On the other side of the ball, though, on defense, I didn't hate what we were doing. Okay. I did not hate what we were doing because we held the Chiefs to 33 points. They did not get 20 points in the first half. In fact, they didn't even get 14 points in the first half. We held them to 13. But then at the half, they realized they had to wake up and actually play us for real or they were going to lose this game. Let's be honest. In the first half, not a single player on the Chiefs looked awake. Pat looked bad, okay? Pat Mahomes looked very bad. They had to settle for field goals. And when their defense actually stopped us and their offense thought they had a chance to come back on the field and get a touchdown for once, Joseph Charlton turned out to look like a better backup quarterback than PJ Walker. Tell me how Joseph Charlton threw an absolute 15-yard dot to Brandon Zylstra. Ended up going 28 yards, I'm pretty sure. Tell me how he looked way more accurate in one pass than PJ Walker looked in any of his checkdowns the week before. I was very impressed with the aggressiveness from the Panthers all game long, going for 4th down, getting it twice, and going for that fake punt is actually very, very good. The Chiefs were looking for it. We got a fake punt last week with Jeremy Chinn on the run. They was looking for the run. They didn't see that pass coming, though. They did not see that pass coming. Brandon Zylstra is better than just a trick play kind of guy, but right now, we know what the passing game is. We have Robbie, DJ, and Curtis, and C-Mac, and tight ends that are actually decent, but you ignore. You don't really have time to go to the Pharaoh Coopers and the Brandon Zylstras of the world. We understand how that works. But this Chiefs offense, found out very quickly, wait a second. We might have Reek on the field. We might have Reek, and we might have a Mecole Hardman. But those are receivers, and the Panthers DBs are actually decent enough to maybe not bottle up guys like Reek, but we kind of did handle Mecole a little bit, although most of his catches of his 4, I think 3 resulted in first downs, and I think all 3 of those weren't on first down plays, so they were drive extending first downs, not just first down to a first down. They realized, wait, we have a tight end that they have no one on that side of the field who can actually even address him. There is no one, healthy or otherwise, on this Panthers team who can even look at any half-decent tight end in this NFL. And when you think about Travis Kelce, the first words that come to your mind is not half-decent. He is the best tight end in football, and he had a game. 10 receptions, 159 yards, no touchdowns, but he did not need it. He just carved up our offense and opened things up for this Chiefs team. I mentioned it before, man. Look, with no Jeremy Chinn, there was no shot at guarding him. But even with Jeremy Chinn, Travis Kelce is a monster. He's a monster. There are no linebackers who can cover him. There's no safeties who can cover him. And we had no shot at all at really finding much of an answer for Travis Kelce. He was the difference maker. The difference maker for the Chiefs here in this game. I gotta show love to my man Corn Elder. He was holding it down. He forced a fumble, and I'm pretty sure it was Miles Hartsfield, the backup strong safety who also plays some running back, who got the recovery there. Look, our team played very, very good here. I can't hold you. These Panthers played a very complete game. The biggest problem, well, 2 biggest problems, Travis Kelce and time management. I can get into play calling and route combinations. That's like deeper level things that you have to those weren't the reasons we lost. I believe 100% Travis Kelce and time management were the biggest issues in this game. And once again, we find ourselves in a 1-score game where the offense has the ball to end the game and we cannot get it done. I will say this, as disappointing as it is to lose, once again, we find ourselves in a situation where we have a lot to be looking forward to in the future. This game right here is won if we have Jeremy Chinn. This game right here is won if we have an O-line. This game right here is won if we had anyone who can even look at Travis Kelce. I 100% believe this was a very winnable game. I think all but one of our losses has been by 1 score. 1-score games have been our Achilles heel this whole season. And I think we're moving in the right direction to make sure that next year we are an actual juggernaut. We can actually make some very big moves and turn some believers out of y'all doubters out there. I believe in this 100% of the way. 100%. Day 1. The 14-2 dream is still alive. I don't know about y'all, but the future looks real bright for these Carolina Panthers. That's how I feel about it though, man. Let me know what y'all think about the game, the system, our decision making, finding anyone who can even look at Travis Kelce or tight ends. What do you think is the biggest issue for these Panthers? Is it Teddy Bridgewater? Is it the play calling? Is it the defense? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.